Hello everyone, welcome to your February 2026 monthly forecast, and happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So, I haven't done these for a while. I'm hoping that you guys, share this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new. I need to get my videos more in circulation. There, I just wasn't getting enough views, so it really wasn't worth me doing them. I will always still do the shorts, but we'll see how the monthlies go. Okay, but anyway, so the month actually starts off with a full moon in Leo. Okay, on the 1st. Then on the 3rd, Uranus turns direct. It's still in Taurus. Turns direct. It's finishing its transit in Taurus and moving into Gemini in April. I believe it's April 27th. Anyway, on the 6th, Mercury moves into Pisces. Up until that point, it is still in Aquarius. On the 10th, Venus moves into Pisces, and again, up until that point, it's still in Aquarius. On the 13th, Saturn leaves uh, Pisces for like, what is it, 28 years maybe? I forget the cycle. It spends about 2.5 to 3 years in each zodiac sign, so it takes a while to go completely around the zodiac. So it is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries on the 13th, okay? Then on the 17th, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius. On the 18th, the sun moves into Pisces, and then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces, okay? And there is a link in the description box below. I just left it in there, okay, to a video that I did on Mercury retrograde. Okay, so it's a good idea to check that out. Also, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you can do. I would greatly appreciate it, okay? And thank you so much for your donations, your inquiries, all of that. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And now for your forecast. Hi, Cancer. So, let's start with the full moon and the new moon, because on the 1st there is a full moon in Leo. Okay, in your second house, that's where you have the sign of Leo. There aren't any other planets in Leo right now, so I can't see this being too much of a problem. But a full moon does exist to get rid of a problem, actually. It's your time to speak up about something that has reached a critical point, more or less, okay? And this is happening in your second house of earned income and possessions. Okay, at the same time, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th. Sorry about that. I've got two cats chasing each other. Egads. Anyway, on the 17th, okay, new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius in your 8th house, which is directly across from your second house. These are the money houses, okay? Second house is earned income. It's how you earn your money. 8th house is other people's money and shared money, shared property, shared debt even, many things, okay? But anyways, new moon solar eclipse, the eclipse will add like a bit of a zap to the new moon, and the effects last a little bit longer than normal, okay? No one can say how long, but sometimes weeks to months, whatever. It affects everyone differently. But this is occurring in your 8th house of other people's money, okay, and resources, passive money through means other than earning it, such as a legal settlement or an insurance payout, a refund of some kind. Here in America, it is tax time. So people are possibly receiving their refunds, income tax refunds. Could also be an increase in credit, your credit line with a credit card company, or even just a loan, bank loan or something, an increase there. But this is also shared debt and shared property. So first, the full moon on the first in your second house, you could be complaining that you're the one possibly paying for everything. Your income is what sustains you and possibly another person, your spouse, or whomever, you know. Um, or this could even be about possessions where someone has borrowed something from you, and it may be money that they owe you, and you've been after them for how long, you've given them how long to give it back to you, and they haven't. So this is the day that you put your foot down and demand whatever. Just go over their place and rip it out of the whatever, you know, wherever they've been hiding it, okay? Something of yours. I'm just saying, okay? It's something like that. Sometimes people do borrow things from you, they forget, and you have to keep asking them, and they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then finally you just can't handle it anymore, so you just go get it yourself. Could be something like that. It doesn't, to me, look like it's work related. It does, you know, it's something else here, okay? Now, because you speak up at the beginning of the month, by the time the new moon comes around on the 17th, it's pretty much in place. You know, this person or this entity even, you know, if you could even be having to deal with a financial institution, you know. Maybe they've been screwing up your statements, you know, or a credit card company overcharging you or whatever, something like that. So by the time, hopefully, the new moon comes around, it will be in effect, whatever it was that you complained about, okay? And eclipses have a funny way of eclipsing people or something out of your life. And it's usually something that you don't want to be there anyway, okay? So it could be some kind of financial problem that it possibly isn't even yours. You know, it may be like a shared debt that you have with someone. Maybe it could even be like a roommate or something like that that you share utilities with, the bills, the rent, whatever. And maybe, you know, you come to some kind of different arrangement than possibly you already had that works better for you. Okay, maybe not necessarily for them, but something that works out a lot better for you. But as far as eclipsing a person out of your life, it could be just anyone, actually. I would have to say it could even be the fact that you are on the receiving end of some kind of money, some kind of inheritance. Maybe someone is leaving. They don't have to die, okay? They don't have to pass away in order to leave you anything. They could be leaving the area, though, and maybe they are giving you whatever. Could be furniture, could be anything, property even. You have to remember you have Jupiter in your sign, so there's tons of opportunity open for you, and you are on the receiving end of good fortune. Okay, so this could be one of those times. You know what? I would play the lottery if I were you on the 1st, even if it's just a scratch-off ticket, and definitely around that new moon on the 17th. You know, it doesn't just have to be on those days. Any day that you get a like an intuition kind of thing going, okay? But yeah, it looks like to me, it looks like you're on the receiving end of something. It could be money, could be resources of some kind, could be something that someone just wants you to have, okay? So then, the sun does move into Pisces on the 18th. Mercury moves into Pisces on the 6th. Venus moves into Pisces on the 10th. And then on the 26th, Mercury turns retrograde in Pisces. And all of this is happening in your 9th house where you have the sign of Pisces. So the planet Neptune and Saturn were both here, okay, for a while. Okay, Neptune just moved last month into Aries, into your 10th house, and Saturn is moving on the 13th of this month into Aries. So you won't have these planets in this house anymore. Okay, Neptune did actually well here because ninth house is higher learning. It is also the house of philosophy, your spiritual and religious beliefs, and Neptune is a very spiritual planet. Saturn, on the other hand, ninth house is long distance travel and communication. Okay, foreign countries, people, languages, higher learning, okay, legal matters, media and publishing, the house of adventure, okay, with Saturn here, kind of put the damper on all of those things I was just talking about, okay. It could have come in handy, though, if you were trying to learn something. It would make you stick with it. It doesn't necessarily have to be higher learning. It could almost even be an apprentice type thing or someone just showing you how to do something. It doesn't necessarily have to be for career or work or anything like that. It could be for something like a personal interest that you have or something you've always wanted to learn. Okay, so it's also a media and publishing house. It's an internet house. Okay, so and as far as adventure goes, your wings were kind of clipped here. You know, maybe you weren't able to travel like maybe you normally would be, or even just take the one trip that you wanted to take. There was also a possibility of if traveling to a foreign country, you may have had problems there, especially with the customs or laws, especially if you weren't aware of them. You know, if you never bothered to read up on whatever is considered offensive in that country. You know, you might have offended people accidentally without even knowing it. Things like that. Okay, well, that's gone now. And just the fact that the Sun and Mercury and even Venus are here, you know, it just means that you will probably have more contact with people, at least from a completely different background than yours. They have a different cultural background, educational background, even like spiritual or religious background than yours, you know. But it could be new people coming into your life. This could also happen on social media. You know, sometimes you meet people there that are from different parts of the world. You know, so maybe you're not traveling. You could be, though. There is a strong possibility of you traveling just because, again, you have Jupiter in your sign right now. Jupiter governs the ninth house to begin with, but it is the big travel planet. That and Mercury are travel planets, okay? So this could be your opportunity now, or now that Saturn's leaving here. Now you're able to make plans. Maybe that's what you're doing this month, making plans for an upcoming trip. Okay, but it could be in contact more with people who live at a distance, possibly even in another country. Okay, so, and I do have to mention that the planet Uranus in Taurus in your 11th house of friends and acquaintances and your most sociable house, right? It's been here for a while. It should have brought some pretty unusual or at least interesting people into your circle of friends or any kind of group or organization that you belong to. Well, it turns direct on the 3rd and is moving through the rest of Taurus, finishing up its transit there, and it moves into Gemini and your 12th house in April. Okay, I'll probably do a video on Uranus in Gemini. But anyway, that's about it, you know. Just always keep in mind that you have Jupiter in your sign until this summer, and you are supposed to be actually doing things that you've always had an interest in, but either never had the opportunity to try or didn't have the nerve to try. When Jupiter is in your sign, all kinds of new opportunities and just chance meetings even open up for you to fulfill some kind of wish that you've always had. Okay, so be out there looking for it. It's not going to come and hit you in the face. Okay, you have to get up off your ass and go after it. Anyway, The best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Cancer on the 26th and 27th. The best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Capricorn, and those days are the 12th, 13th, and 14th. The best time for romance, recreation, creativity, fun, gambling, or speculation, or anything to do with children is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. The best time for money is the 1st, 2nd, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 28th. The best time for your career is the 19th, 20th, and 21st. And the best time for communication and travel is the 3rd, 4th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. So I hope you enjoyed your forecast for February. Happy Valentine's Day to you. See ya.